a lot of pavers went into this yard, about 5,500 square feet. So this was a gravel driveway with asphalt under it, and they just kept layering on layers and layers and layers of pea gravel. And we ended up having to take all that out and put in a strong base for our pavers. So I want to show you what this going into this project, how we did it, and then what's coming, because we're not quite done. We're just doing a final few things here. But I'm going to start here at the entrance. So because this is Newport News, in order to attach an apron onto a roadway, there's a few things you have to do. So first thing you have to do is pull a right-of-way permit, which we did. What the right-of-way permit is they're making sure that anything you do on their road with asphalt, you're repairing it, you're cleaning it up, you're making sure that it's done right. But then they also have some requirements as far as pavers, what has to happen underneath of this in order to make sure that it passes and gets their approval. And so what we had to do here is we actually had to pour a 6-inch thick reinforced concrete apron that comes back to about this point right here, and then allow our pavers to run over that. So we've got concrete poured all under here. We got 6 inches of 57 gravel under that. We've got fabric, and then we got geogrid, and then we have our screed sand and our pavers in here. So we had to do a lot of reinforcement, and you can just see how nicely this integrates right with the asphalt. And then when we're all done, this will all just be washed up and perfect. Now, because of the way that this slopes, this culvert right here, you also see we've got a small wall right here so that none of that debris falls out. And then we've got the same wall on the other side, just to give it a clean look. We're gonna have some lights shining across the end here, and then a little bit of river rock right in here. And then the wrap will be a wrap for the apron area. And you can see these pavers just kind of leading right in here. So one thing that kind of caught us a little bit off guard is when you're looking at the house and you pull a string on it, it looks like this would end up being right in front of the house, but it wasn't actually. So you see this jog that we put in right here, you can kind of see where we just turned our angle just a little bit. We wanted to keep the majority of the pavers actually parallel to the house, so we didn't have any awkward cut up there. So we just jogged the driveway over just a little bit and kept it the same width. And then we opened up so they can have seating or parking on this area right here, and then opened it up as we got in here so that they don't have to back out to get out of this space. So they can just turn, come in, turn around, go around the circle here. And what's gonna happen, so they got this ready just so for Easter it looked good and was pretty. But we're actually putting a large crepe myrtle right in this spot with a bunch of hydrangeas around it. And eventually there might end up being another water feature in there, but that's to come. So you see kind of like our black trimming and how you saw the apron at the front. We also want to do that and just give it some interest right here at the front garage doors. So you see how we did that same black trimming right here. And then we also integrated lights down into the pavers. So you can see these lights are right here integrated. We put some drainage right through here just to make this nice clean integration with the driveway and the garage. And then over here, we're gonna put our Japanese maple right in this corner with a bunch of drift roses that stay nice and low right in this spot. And then some boxwoods going the length of here. Another crepe myrtle right where our little Kubota is parked right there. But the idea is that when they come right up and come into this space, they have a nice turnaround. They've got ample space. They got grandkids that want to be able to use their tricycles and their little pedal carts all around this area. So we just created a nice open spot for them to go right in here. Now, to make this even more interesting, they wanted something that would just make the front of this home pop, as if these pavers wouldn't make it pop. We're adding a water feature in here. And so you can see this same gray color we added with this walkway, and you can just see how we have this walkway, how it just kind of turns and flares. And Juanito did an awesome job integrating this. So you see right here how this comes. Let me just push this out of the way a little bit so you can see. So you see how he did this here, where it's kind of coming from two different directions and just kind of coming together, and then this path just winds right up to the front. Really, really clean, really, really crisp look. And you are gonna have this kind of craziness of water going on right here. So we're putting boulders around it. We're gonna river rock in this. We'll have some boulders out in this space. And then we'll have landscaping that's all around this, giving this whole corner just this layered approach and feel. And then of course, this space wouldn't be complete without lighting throughout everything. So there's an old antiquated, and when I say antiquated, I do really mean antiquated. On the back of this home, there was lighting that was actually put in probably in the 80s that we're actually scrapping. So we've got literal 1,000 feet or more of wiring on this house that we're actually taking out and putting in new wiring for the new updated low voltage lighting system. Because when you installed low voltage lighting back in the 80s, you had 12-volt incandescent bulbs or halogen bulbs in these fixtures. And so if you had a, say, a 200-foot run all the way out to the street, and then you had another light that was only going to be 100 feet, you still had to run 200 feet of light to the bulb that was only 100 feet away to make sure that they were the same brightness and they had the same load on the system. If you did not run the same amount of cabling or put a resistor in line, what would end up happening is your lights would look different brightness, even though they were the same voltage and wattage. It would just make the whole lighting system look awkward. So we're pulling out all that just feet and feet and feet of wires right now, and we're putting it in. And now that it's low voltage LED, they don't really care. So as long as we got enough voltage going down the line, enough wattage from our transformer, we can just kind of string as many lights as we want, up to about like 30 lights, and then we have to run a new leg. So this whole entire front here, these trees, over here, you see the crepe myrtles right here, we're lighting all those up. And like I said, we're putting lights at the end of the road, and then this whole water feature right here will have lights. The whole front of the house will be lit up, and it'll just be a very welcoming space. No matter what time of year, what time of day it is, people will be able to come here and just feel welcome for this new river house.